everybody, welcome back. I hope you're doing really well. Today's video I am going to try something a little bit different. So I'm very into like a 90s cool toned eye look. I feel like we should just go the full way today and do like a skinny brow. What I've got is of Gabriette. She's just like the most beautiful thing in the world. She's obviously got super skinny brows, but I love the like kind of cat eyeliner look. We'll just see, it'll be fun. It's something different, isn't it? So I actually needed to dye my eyebrows and I was like, I'm not going to do it because they're always a little bit easier to work with when they're not super dark. So I'm going to do that. I've seen a couple videos of people kind of like squishing their brows down that have big brows, so hopefully this should work. I'm going to zoom you in. I'm going to start off on my brows just to get them in the right shape, and then we'll do skin after that. I take a lot of my cartilage piercings out for a shoot a while ago, and I actually loved how it looked. Like, not enough to have it permanently, but loved how it looked. I was like, oh, I look really clean. And I feel like with a look like this, it kind of looks a bit nicer, just like silver hoops. So yeah, don't panic, they're still there, but they're just not there for today. Take the Anastasia brow freeze. This is like my favourite thing. I'm going to take some of the brow freeze on a little spoolie and I'm going to kind of run it through my brows, but going against them, if that makes sense. And then kind of pushing the bottom up and the top down, just to try and make them skinny as possible. And yeah, just kind of trying to like squidge them together as much as possible. Wow, okay. Take my fingers, I'm actually going to just squeeze them together. Just to see the difference, that's good. It's working. Okay, I feel like that's going to be enough to start with. I feel fierce. Acting different. I feel like I am. Now I'm going to conceal around them just to like really define them. I'm going to use the NARS Soft Matte Concealer. I'm just going to take a little fluffy brush. This is the Vive 223. I haven't concealed under my brows since I was like 16. This is a crazy feeling. And I'm obviously going to bring it up like as high as possible. I want them to be like quite arched and thin. Actually going to like really softly, whatever's left on the brush, kind of push up through my brows because it's kind of making them look even thinner. I'm glad I didn't dye my brows before doing this because this would be hell. Wow. I feel like I've got so much more eyelid space. What is my oyster right now? This is what's so fun about makeup, is like you can literally make yourself feel like a different person. What's fun about it, you know? It's not serious, it's just fun. I'm gonna just do the same on the top, just to really like define it. And then just really softly kind of buffing that out. So weird, but I kind of love it. Okay, I feel like that's it for brows. I don't know if I'm going to fill them in, maybe a little bit actually. The Iconic Precision Brow Definer, and I'm actually going to take the like pen end of it. This is the shade Black Brown, and I'm going to take the little pen and I'm just going to like really lightly, only following like the middle line. I think it's just going to make them look even slimmer if they're more like defined. Yeah. Like keep the fronts fluffy. It's so weird, you have to be like so much more careful filling them in. When I do my brows normally I'm just like all over the place. It kind of so easy, but this is like so much more precision with thinner brows. Actually it's surprisingly easy. I thought it was gonna be hard work. Okay, so now moving on to my skin. I don't want to do too much on my skin. I want to keep the skin quite grungy and not like too polished. So I'm going to take the Armani concealer. This is a shade 5.5, and I'm just going to pop that underneath my eyes. And this is basically what I've been doing. Oh, actually, let me zoom you out. Sorry. This is basically what I've been doing like every day recently. This looks so weird. I'm so confused. Looking in the mirror, this just does not look like me. This is what I've been doing like every day recently, rather than foundation. When I'm like just going to work or something, I can't really be asked to do anything too full on. A Morphe foundation brush, just going to buff that in. And I feel like this just gives me like enough coverage that I don't look dead, but I've got something going on. And I don't really want to apply any over my nose. I always feel like if you don't have too much makeup on your nose, it looks like you don't have makeup on. It's such a weird little thing. But right now I'm going to take the NARS concealer. This is the shade Custard. And I'm just going to pop a little bit of that underneath my eyes, just because I'm going to be doing like a liner. I don't want to completely lose like brightness. And then just patting that in with a sponge. Found out yesterday I'm actually going to Paris again in, I think, like 2 weeks, with like the most insane brand, doing like the coolest thing out there, which is just mad. Like this year I've just done like loads of things that I would never have felt like kind of confident enough to do, and yeah, I'm just like so excited. So I've never even been there properly until like Fashion Week, and I just love it so much. One of those cities that you leave and you feel really inspired, like just seeing like the people, like they're so cool, and the whole like just way of life is so inspiring, especially for like creative people. I feel like I always come away from there feeling really like refreshed and just wanting to create, which is really cool. So leave it at that for coverage. I might add a little bit more after, but for now I feel like that's a good base. A little bit underneath my eyes with the Charlotte Tilbury powder. This is the shade Fair 1. I feel like typically this kind of makeup and like skin is very matte, and not a lot of bronze and stuff, but this is me. I can't compromise too much, so I'm still going to keep it like bronzy. I actually really love a bronzy look with like a cool toned eye. I feel like the contrast kind of shouldn't work, but it really does. I feel like a wearable look for me. I don't want it to feel like I'm doing like a costume 90s look. I still want it to feel wearable. My skin now with the Vive Modern Bronzer. This is the shade Tan. I normally use medium, but I'm a little bit more tanned at the moment, so I've been loving this. And I'm just going to warm up my skin with that. I'm going to do quite bronzy today, I think. Nice and bronzy, a little bit more life going on now. Taking a little bit of the deeper shade in the bronze palette, I'm just going to really lightly kind of just define underneath my cheekbone. So I always kind of like just focus it right here, and I feel like that's where it naturally... I'll take my beauty blender and just kind of soften all of that. I'm going to take this really beautiful, kind of very muted, rosy shade from the Vive Dimension Face palette, and I'm just going to do that quite high up, just to like lift my cheekbones a little bit more, add a nice little healthy glow. And then I'm going to run that across my nose as well. Just going to add some little freckles using a brown lip liner. I feel like skin's done. I want it to just be really natural and just like a really simple kind of effortless base. I'm going to set everything in place with the Urban Decay All Nighter Spray. This is the new vitamin C one. There we go. So skin's done. I'm going to zoom you in and get on with my eyes. So this is going to be the fun bit. Isn't it? Yes, it is. That eye, but I feel like it needs to have a kind of grey base. Maybe some glitter. No. I don't really know, to be honest with you. So I'm going to take the shade Gleam from the Cash Colour Trip palette, and I'm just going to run that across my lids, like pat out any creasing. And I'm going to use this as like a base all over, all the way up to my brow. I'm going to kind of push it into the brow a little bit as well, just to make it look super skinny. The base is on. I feel like I want to do a little bit of shimmer just because when we do like the black cat eye, I think it will just look really nice. So I'm going to take the Byredo palette. This is so beautiful, and I'm just going to take this shimmery white here, and I'm just going to use my finger actually, kind of chuck it on, and I'm actually going to go quite high with it. I kind of want this to be quite like editorial. I feel like now we're here with the skinny brows, we might as well go for it at this point. So just building that up, not really being too precise with it at all. You really have so much more space for activities when you get rid of half your eyebrow. It's just weird, isn't it, how trends like come in and out so often. I remember at school I actually had like thin eyebrows. I think everyone did, and I hated that like my brows were really bushy and really thick, and now I love them. So I mean, the moral of the story is just do whatever the fuck feels good, because at some point it's going to be fashionable and then it won't again. And who really cares? But that looks really nice. That's a really good base. So I'm going to do liner now. MS Beauty black liner. This is one of my favourites. I've been using this like pretty much all the time. Do just like a kind of thin wing, I think. I don't want it to be anything too wild. So thin wing to like there. And then I like this because it has one of those little spongy things on the end, so it's really easy. And I kind of want it to be very like Alexa, Demi, like, you know, the kind of long thin wings she does. Kind of feel like that looks great with this look. So just bring that along and keep it really close to the lash line. Don't want anything too thick. And I'm going to just go in my waterline underneath. And I think I'm going to leave it at that. I don't think I'm going to do it actually underneath my eye. I kind of want it to feel quite clean. Oh, I love this. Put a little bit of black on the inner corner, not a lot, but just a tiny bit. Yeah, I feel like that's what it needed. Ooh, okay. I'm into this. I could get on board with this. I'm just going to curl my lashes and then I'm going to put some mascara on. I'm going to take the Kosas Big Clean Mascara. I've been loving this recently. And I'm just going to do my top lashes, and not actually too much. A bit quite natural. I don't want to do too much mascara. And what I've been doing recently is kind of like, once my mascara's on and still wet, I kind of squeeze them down, if that makes sense, to kind of give like more of a cat eye look. I just feel like when all your lashes are going that way, it's obviously drawing the attention to like the outside of your eye rather than all sticking up. So I always think like when you've done a liner, you've kind of like drawn that shape and then you put lashes on that are like just going everywhere. I think it kind of like throws your eye off, but if you keep it all really like clean, I think it just follows the lines. It for eyes. Very into that. I really, really like that. I'm actually going to put a bit more mascara just on the outer corners just to make it a bit blacker. Eyes are all done. I'm just going to brush through my brows actually, just any that have kind of come out of place. Right, eyes are done, just need to do my lips and then we're all done. So, do a matte lip, but I don't really know now. I feel like maybe just a liner and a gloss could be cool. I don't feel like I've ever really done that in any looks. Maybe we'll do that then. Okay, really annoying spot, like just above my lip for ages. And it's kind of gone, but like it always looks like my lip line is smudged. Like if I don't have loads of makeup on, it's really pissing me off, so to try and cover it as much as possible. I'm going to line my lips with the Vive Bark lip liner. This is like a really nice nudie brown. I'm just going to make sure I don't have like too much foundation on my lips. Can go a bit like scummy sometimes if you have product on there and then you put a gloss over it. So I'm just going to line my lips with this. There we go. So I want to keep like quite a strong line around it. So keep it nice and defined, but just a little bit softer. Then I'm going to take the Dior Lip Glow Oil. This is just the clear one. And I'm going to pop that on my lips. Love that gloss so much. It's so nice. Okay, I think that's the finished look. So I'm just going to show you everything nice and close so you can see it all together. Okay, so that is the finished look for today's video. I am obsessed with this. I'm actually really loving it, maybe too much. I didn't know how it was going to turn out. I thought I was just going to hate it, but I actually love it so much. Yeah, as always, everything that I've used will be linked in the description box down below. Thank you so much for watching this and thank you for being here as always. Have a lovely rest of the day and I will see you very soon. Love you.